Hello guys, I'm Daniel or Daishira, and we're back with another episode of our Bankroll challenge. Now, we're not going to be playing tournaments right now because personally I don't actually feel like it. I just feel like playing some cash, and so I just jumped into these two cash tables. I'm not playing Zoom because I wanted to get to. I like the feeling of actually slowing down sometimes, and Zoom is a bit quick and it's very instant. And with cash tables, I think you get to know the players and know how they play, and we just got some get some nice dynamics going on. So let's see if this goes well. Raise from the cutoff. I think it's a pretty standard call, hoping to flop a set or a good flop. Because it's only 4 cents. We're at a discount because we're in the big blind. So call. Horrible flop for us. If you see bets, we're just going to fold because, well, we're not going to do anything fancy here. Even if we were ahead of something like Queen Jack or Queen 10 or Jack 10, they will have good shots on overcards, and so it's just not worth it. So that's a call and then miss. We're going to be playing pretty standard, unless some of these guys are playing a style which we can exploit later. So yeah. Playing standard until further notice, basically. On the right, we've only got 3 people, so we're going to be a bit wider. Obviously, here we're just going to raise. I think from the small blind versus the big blind, I like to go 3.5x as opposed to 3x because you don't want to give them the correct odds to call in position. Jack 8 of spades, if he raises, we're almost definitely going to defend because it's a very good hand to defend in position against the small blind. He only raised 5, so we're definitely getting the right price to call now. Could 3-bet, but why? I'd rather see the flop in position, rather than 3-bet and risking him 4-betting us out of the pot. On a flop like King, King 3, if he c-bets, we're losing to Ace and Queen high, and all under pairs. So honestly, we probably don't even have the correct odds. We could try a float, but our equity is not high enough in my opinion. We've got no spades, no gutters, no anything. We've only got 2 naked cards, so it's a bit loose to continue here, in my opinion. King 4 is still a bit too weak to open in cash. In a tournament, it's okay to steal because of the antes, but in cash, you're literally just going for naked blinds, and it's just not worth it. On the left, we've got pocket 8s. I'm gonna make a large 3.5x raise under the gun because I want to discourage people from playing with me out of position. So a slightly larger size from under the gun can be normal. A lot of players do it, and I'm starting to adapt it now in my own game because I don't like playing out of position with these hands. And I'll be doing the same with aces and kings. So, but in any other position, I stick to a normal 3x. Got a limp, which I think he's done before, but it's interesting to see this guy in action. Fold this. Here, he's only raised the minimum, so I think we get the correct odds to call. I was trying to 3-bet, but then I was like, nah. Because he checks. He usually checks if he's giving up or he has like a marginal hand. And in both cases, I think a multi-barrel bluff will work. So he just folds, he just checked to give up there. So we're just giving us the pot there. Nice little and he's sitting out, so now we've got heads up for a short amount of time. 3x'd it. I mean, probably is a call. I'm not that great at heads up, but I think this is a call. And we check give up here. Yeah. Oh, we're getting more people sitting down now, so this is pretty good. Got aces, make the 3x. Hope to get some action. He re-raises. He just sat down. So I'm going to 4-bet him so we can establish this dynamic that I am not going to mess around. Here I think I'm just going to fold 8-5 of diamonds. And he's all in, so obviously we call. He has 10-6. I mean, and he rebought as well. Honestly, I have no idea what to say. That was I want to label him, but it was only the second hand. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he was just feeling a little bit risky there. But now that I know his range can be really wide, it's really tempting to call. So I think I will. If I flop something good, I'll be able to take all his money. So I think this is very good. A very good call. Oh, we did flop something good. Hopefully he just goes crazy now. He checks though. But I want to get value from all kings and possibly queens, jacks and stuff, so I think a standard 2/3 pot bet will work and try and get value from kings and pairs and stuff. So we've got an instant call here, so he probably has a king. If not, then the minimum he has like 8s or 7s or something like that. That's like the minimum, but he almost always has a king here. 10s, jacks. Maybe he had 3-bet jacks pre-flop, so only really has 10s. And then a king. This guy tanking for some reason. Maybe he does have queens. Even though I said his range is super wide, he can still have good hands, so. This guy could also have a 9. He could outkick me with queen 9, but he could also have 10-9, so even if he did have a 9, we're still very much going to value bet. Right, this guy seems like a bit of a fish. I would consider stealing with 9 suited from this position, but the only problem is this guy is probably going to call, given the stats already that he calls a lot of hands, and yeah, so he'll be calling and I'll be out of position. This guy leads, which makes me think he has like king queen specifically. It's either that or he has like a full house somehow, or he has a straight. If he has a straight here, he could have jack 10. But regardless, we're going to call, because even if he does have jack 10, that's the top of his range, and even if he does have that, we still have outs. We got quads, baby. That's a great card for us as well, because we called, it makes us look like we have a 9, but now that the 9 comes off on the end, it doesn't look like we have a 9 anymore, because it's super unlikely that we have a 9. So, if I go all in here, he's going to call if he has a king, right? So, either he has something or he doesn't here. So hopefully he has a king or queen that pays it off, but he doesn't. He went on like this crazy bluff spree. See that? So he folded, so this didn't have a king. Because if he had a king, he would definitely be calling. Against this guy, I want to make a small raise. Because if he re-raises me big, I'll be able to get away easier. So we'll see what happens with a 2.5x raise here. This guy snap called us, which he probably would. I swear he's calling us little shits. Wow. Okay, so the last time he led, didn't seem like he had anything strong, so I think we'll just call, keep the pot small. If we re-raise here, we're only getting better hands to call. So if we call here, we're going to keep our pot odds, keep our pot small. 10, it's not the best card, it's not the worst card either. He continues to bet. Again, he doesn't seem super strong here. I'm just going to call. 5 of spades is like possibly one of the worst cards, because then multiple straights get there, or the flushes get there, which he would be leading with. And on this card, it's like, well, now you can't call because there's way too many hands that beat you now. I'm thinking about shoving, but if I shove, he's not going to fold a straight, so that's not really worth it. The action on the table on the right here seems to be a lot looser than the action on the left. So the variance on the right is going to be really high, but we're making that work because we are up a whole buy-in in a bit, whereas on the left we're just kind of folding. That's this stray red guy. When I had the quads and then I shoved and then the other guy folded and he was like, "You're bluffing." I don't think he understands the game very well, given that he did go all in with us for 10-6 when we had aces, and the fact that he said that we were bluffing on that Queen King 999 board. Like, what are we bluffing with there, really? We can't even turn our Jack 10 into a bluff there on that board because we know that we're not going to get a king or a queen to fold. Really, a queen might fold. A king's not going to fold, but you know. Here on the left, 10-9 is something I'd consider stealing with, but again, this guy's calling way too many hands on our left, so we're just going to opt to keep to us. Yeah, we're going to opt to maintain a tight strategy against this guy. Ideally, I'd like to sit off the table and go to this seat over here, so I can be in position against this guy. But obviously, we can't. Sitting's going rather well so far. In terms of bankroll, being up like a whole $2 and a bit, so it is pretty, you know, it's pretty, really well above average. Only really expect to make like a few big blinds every hour. I'm not sure what the exact figure is you should maintain for, but to make a profit it should be like, what, 10 big blinds an hour? And if it's online, I'm not sure what the exact figures are, but you know, $2 and a bit in a few minutes already is pretty good. King 9 suited, unfortunately, it's a fold from this position. Although in my earlier days of playing poker, I would definitely open this because I was a little bit loose back then. And pretty cards like that were like deemed to want to raise, but it's too weak from this position. And if we're maintaining a tight strategy with this guy on our left, we can't. Because his stats say his VPIP is 80% with a pre-flop raise of 15%, so 80-15. It's not, you know. If we have ace king or aces and we raise against this guy, we're in pretty good shape. But here, you know, it's gonna stick like that. We're getting 32% here, and queen 3 suited is not strong enough. Nothing fancy here. We're just gonna fold, even though he min bet. You know, we don't really care. We have 10 high, so we're not gonna do anything fancy there. On the right though, we've got jacks, and the action's been pretty loose so far. So this is gonna be really interesting. If I 3-bet and he 4-bets, and I 5-bet jam again, like what happened last time, he might do it with the same range, so jacks is pretty premium against this guy in particular. But against everyone else, I kind of like flatting with jacks in the small blind, because the small blind is just the worst position. Against the button raise, however, I'm completely fine with going for the 4-bet here. Twice the pot, or 3x the raise, either's fine. I'm just going to go for the slightly larger one. And just a few folds there. Okay, 10-4 here is a fold, obviously, so it's 9-2 here. Interesting, poker's so fun, you just fold. Alright, so this guy, or the guy who left, was the guy who like don't bet into us with the bluff when we had quads, and he's left now, so now we've got a completely new guy. As our stats say, like this guy is just mental. So I've made a note to admit that he's a pretty active or laggy fish. So don't think bluffing against him will be too profitable. I think the c-bet on the flop will be fine, like the stab once and that's it kind of thing. But yeah, against this guy, probably only want to go mental when I have a good hand. Alright, so against the hijack open, ace-3 could be deemed to be a 3-bet to try and steal, but against the hijack it's just not that likely that it's going to fold compared to how much we're going to risk, so it's not, oh this guy 3-bet, though this guy never 3-bets. Star and Sasha over here. Okay. This guy limps. I've not seen him do that too often. Obviously we're just going to check and give up with 8-3 on any board, really. Maybe apart from this one. He checks. I'm going to check on the turn as well. Hope to get to the river for free. If you had anything on the flop, why wouldn't you bet on the flop, right? On this 5 doesn't really change anything unless he has a straight somehow, but I think a straight would bet on the flop there, so this is like a pretty easy call. Now the 7 fills up. Any straights, and if he value bets really big here, oh he has aces. The play on this table is atrocious. I would consider raising Jack 8 to steal the blinds here, but again this guy's not folding. And Jack 8's too weak, so I'm just going to fold. Queen 7 here is just a normal fold anyway. I look like such a fucking nit. Well, on this table I don't look like a nit. And it's like, but on this table I have to be a nit to win against this guy. Because like, against the whole table I'm not going to be so nitty, but because this guy's on my left, it's such an influential position to be in. He's always going to be in position against me. King Queen though, that's definitely strong enough. Finally. Can't wait to get into the action. I think this is pretty marginal, but I'm going to fold. Because against his range, I'm hoping to flop a set, which happens like obviously like 1 in 9.5 times or something like that. And calling 7 cents, I'd have to basically win a pot of 70 to make that happen, which doesn't happen all too often. I'm just going to check 9-2. Because he limped, I'm not sure if he would fold to a bet on a flop like this, so I'm just going to check and give up. He checks, so I check here because I've hit the 9. So if I didn't hit the 9, I probably would bet to try and take it down, but if we do hit the 9, so we want to check and hope to keep the pot. So more 5-4 suited here is a fold because of the action that this guy can provide. He has been tightening up recently, but again, it's just like him being on the button makes him so much more likely to be more aggressive. That if we raise and then he 3-bets us, which I think he will do quite a lot, we have to fold. I think we just limp against this guy. I think we can limp because if we raise, it's not going to fold. So this is pretty good here. Now we'll just check. And he bets, and we're just going to call. Check. His bet here doesn't really make any sense. If he had a queen here, or a weak queen, he might min bet like this. But I think we'll just call. And now we have the lower end of the straight. When he checks again. Maybe I should have bet that river actually. I think I misplayed that. I think I shouldn't have checked that river. That was kind of an automatic response. I was just trying to steal here. Expecting a call from this guy very often. This guy limped aces, remember? So let's not get too nasty here. This hits my range super hard, so I think a c-bet will take this down very often. But this guy's not having it. Because this guy's not having it, the 3 doesn't change much, so normally a second barrel wouldn't be so good. And I don't think he would even fold a queen, because he does seem to be a bit call stationy. So I think we'd check. 4 of hearts, again, if he has a queen, I don't even think he's going to fold unless we make it a big bet. But that's only against a queen. He's not really going to fold an ace because he's not that kind of bet to fold his hands, so I'm just going to check. He had 2 pair on the end, so you know, I think just fold 7-5 here. Let's not get risky. Maybe I should make this 7 cents if this guy's always going to call. But the problem with changing my bet sizing is that he might start to pick up on it. Unless I know for sure that he's going to call the same amount of times with 7 cents as opposed to 6 cents, then I would. C-bet here just like I did last time, not going to change anything. Insta call. Last time I checked, but here I think we're going to keep betting because there's a lot of things that can happen. He could have flush draws and straight draws that will continue. He could have 2 pair that will definitely continue. So what I'm going to do is actually bet on the bigger side. And on the right here, oh, that is like the worst card. Dude. I mean, yeah, it's like, we'll have to fold now. This is so fucking ridiculous. Oh shit, I should have, I was thinking about 3-betting on the right, but then this hand on the left hand took over. Sorry. This is fucking ridiculous, I have to fold. But yeah, there's just such a stupid river. Why couldn't it have been like pairing the board or something? Well, now that we made trips and this guy likes to call, we're just going to bet. And of course he folds. That's fine. Wow. I made the call with 9-8 suited in this racing war. What happened here? This guy's insane. There's 9-8. Wow. Yeah, I was going to make a big bet here. It's a pretty good board for us, so we're going to continue and probably triple barrel because this guy doesn't really fold on the flop and turn. I think we're just going to bet and then triple barrel. This guy's on a tilt. All in. Oh, he did fold though, so sometimes he does fold flops. So I think this guy folds when he doesn't have anything, and then when he does have something, he just gets really sticky. This guy has the tilt with king 9, unfortunately runs into aces. And he's gone. That's so sad. I want him to stay. King 8. I think we'll make a cheeky raise here. I think it's a bit too loose actually. Maybe in the long run I should fold this. Small leak on our game. King Queen here is just a raise. We've only got 3 people now. People just coming and going here. I'm just gonna fold. Because he'll probably call, I can make it rather big as well. Like 9 cents. As opposed to 8 cents, I can like notch it up to 9 cents. I think 10 cents is a bit big though. So yeah, he does call. I think I'll make the 2/3 like I have done every other time to make a consistent bet sizing. And he'll probably call on this board. King doesn't really scare me too much. The thing that's bad about the king though is that if he does have a 9, he's less likely to call a big bet. So I have to go a little bit smaller here. And he just folds anyway, so yeah. So this guy is the one that's making us the most money on this table in the long run, because we are down money on this table because of that big pot where we had the set, and then he probably had the straight. This guy raises quite large, and he's usually quite tight. Jack 9 of clubs could consider a 3-bet, but against this particular guy I'm quite curious or suspicious about this big bet. It seems like he's targeting this guy, to be honest. On the right, I'm happy with just check and then calling, but he insta-checks, which means he's probably really weak. So we're not going to get value from anything, basically, and I hope that he bluffs and call, and we just call off a bluff. That's about it. Just going to check, and he checks and mucks. We weren't going to get any value from any of his hands, really, so there's no point in betting there. Turns out he had pocket 6s, so maybe I would have got a small bet out of the small pocket pairs, but he might even just fold those. So this guy's just sat down, made his open. This guy instantly 3-bets in. It's like, welcome to the table. And he just folds. He has the auto top off, so it's probably not a massive fish. Checking ace 2, this guy limps again, which is, well, he limped that aces one time, but now he's been limping a few other times as well, so his range is going to be rather wide. Having said that, our ace high is going to be beating a lot of his range here, so it's going to go for a small value bet. Probably would have gone for the small value bet, or, well, if the ace didn't come off, probably would have just checked river actually in hopes to call a bluff or something. But then the ace hit the river, so it's pretty like easy to bet there. Ace 10 is one of the worst hands we would open from the hijack here, with this guy like calling every single raise. Pretty standard here. Yep, and he calls. 3 doesn't change too much. If he has a 9 or a worse ace, he will continue to call. And our 10 kicker is beating a lot of his ace rags. So a smaller bet here will ensure his whole range continues. Here, calling's fine. So this guy does tend to fold to turn bets a lot. So he is basically like a call station where he likes to, where like, he's not the call station that keeps on going, but he's a call station that will call a lot of flops. And so multiple barrels will work against this guy. So I'll just make a note of that actually. Here we're just going to check and give up. Interesting spot here. We've got a limp, a raise, a call. This is a good time to squeeze with a hand as strong as this. We can make it like 40 cents. And then if this guy just ships it, we have to call because we're pot committed. I think we could also call and slow play a little bit because we were getting the correct odds, but I think raising is better because in the long run you're going to make a lot more money. I think calling will make you money as well, because then you get to select when you want to continue with your hand. But raising and squeezing like that will also get them to fold. And this guy's going to be pretty annoyed that we're going to 3-bet him two times in a row. So if he does 4-bet, we're just going to go for the 5-bet jam. Well, it depends on what size he raises to, obviously. And yeah, we are going to 4-bet to the dollar. And if he jams it, it looks pretty tilty, so we're just going to call. Oh, he does have the nuts. That's pretty unfortunate. That he had aces, like the hand directly after we had that little dynamic. So we're down there. Here on the right, I think we should call this, because pot's 44 cents. Yeah, it's a pretty easy call. 5, 6, 7. Unlucky on the left here. Our profit on the right more than makes up for that. So overall, what I said earlier about making like a few big blinds an hour, overall this is more likely to get what's going on here. The lead for 8 cents doesn't make a whole lot of sense here. But if I call, I'm scared this guy's going to squeeze us. So I think we're just going to fold. We needed another heart or like an open-ender to continue there. And gut shot's a bit too weak. So far on this table we're down 193. On this table we're up 244. So overall we're up like 50 cents, which is still slightly better than average consider the time we've been playing. We've only been playing for like an hour and a bit. We've made 50 cents, that's like 25 big blinds. That's really good. If we keep going at this rate, then you know we're going to be hitting our $100 goal in no time. It's a shame that we get a walk there with 8s. I would kind of like to see some action. Here, against this guy, no, Queen Jack's a fold here. It's so sad. We're getting great pot odds here with a 7-2 of hearts here, so I'm just going to limp. Because this guy limped, that was giving us the correct pot odds to over limp. We hit our bottom pair. Premium. So on this table, everyone looks to be pretty tight, apart from this guy with his 70% VPIP. And on this table, it's just recycling players all over the place. I'm the only one who's been hit more than 20 hands. So I'm not really getting solid reads on everyone here. This guy raises. Here we'll just check and hope our 2 is good. Given this guy will probably call, I'm trying to decide if it's worth calling with Queen 7 of spades here, and it's probably not. So happy with just folding there. Our 2 was good on the right there, so yippee-ki-yay. Jack 10 of spades on the left, a hand we're definitely looking to play post flop, even if we are in the worst position. Makes a really large raise. If I call and this guy calls, well, if I call and this guy folds, we're still going to get a good price. So, but this guy's probably going to call, which makes it more enticing to call with a hand like Jack 10, which can flop really big hands. This I'm not a fan of. He's just going to make this c-bet larger if he does like to c-bet. And I'll have to fold. He calls though, so we're going to call because we have a lot of money to win for our 2 cents. Again, we're not really going anywhere because we could hit a Jack or a 10 and make more money. We don't though, so when he just keeps making it really small, so we're not really beating anything right now. We're losing to 10-9, 10-7, any king. And if he does this with a 4, then well played. But yeah, against the whole range, this is a losing call in the long run, in my opinion. We have to be good 20% of the time to be break even, and I don't think we're good 20% of the time here. So pretty easy fold. This guy called the flop and turn bet with ace king high. So that's something to look out for. Me raise makes. Oh, come on, man. We want to play the fours. We can't really call. Even though we know this guy's probably going to call, we can't really call with fours here. Oh. Oh, interesting. Queen's got there, Jack's got there, aces and kings. You know, it's interesting to see that he checks. I think Queen 8 is on the borderline between steal and fold. This guy must be super strong. He's never done anything like this before. I think we'll c-bet this. Doesn't have to be too big. Because we've got a lot of bad cards and a lot of things we can charge, and you know, we're happy to turn our 8 into a bluff here. This raise is very suspicious. He's not going to raise like ace 10, for example. So he's either raising a flush draw or a set. Because we have a pair, he has to be drawing, and because he's drawing, I'm just going to make the call. Second barrel, which he would do with his entire range here. And we're still ahead. Maybe not of Queen Jack of spades though. That's one combo. Actually, I think we should make the fold here. That 9 doesn't look too good. Maybe I should have folded on the flop actually, because there weren't too many cards that I would have liked, actually, on retrospect. Maybe I should have taken more time to think about what cards I would like. And there weren't too many cards I would actually like, to be fair, so maybe a fold there. I think that's a bit loose. Small leak in my game. Steal with ace 8, which always never gets through because of this guy. But that's okay because we're ahead of his range. Yeah, I'm just going to make a bet. Because we hit our top pair, so hope that he calls, and he doesn't call unfortunately, so we just fold. Yep, steal. I think 9-5 suited is also on the borderline between steal and fold there in that position, but yeah. I'm sure small deviations from the perfect graph will be completely fine. I think we're going to fold and sit up the next big blind. We're going to end the session here. End the cash session here. Because I want to play a tournament now. I think my mind has shifted. I want to play tournaments now. We have made a small profit in the cash session. The queens versus aces there was unlucky because we were probably going to lose all our money to him anyway because of the tilts that he could possibly have been on from the last time where we like squeezed him out. He had aces when we had queens. It's pretty unlucky. So what we will do here, now that I've is go to the spreadsheet, and I'll show you the results and how I'll input the cash data. Alright, so here we are. Because it was cash, not a tournament, I think I'm just going to put cash here in the type. Obviously none of this really matters. And we're just going to put our profit loss here. We made, what did we end up? We have 53.13. We ended last session on 52.68 because we won 368, remember? So we spent $1, gained 368, so we're on 52.68. So 53.53 means that from 52.68 to 53.58 is, yeah, that's right, 45 cents. So we made a 45-cent profit there. So that's pretty good. And here, that's all we're going to have there. This is our. Let's just put session here in bold. There we go. And yeah, pretty good there. File, save. Yeah, whatever. We'll just leave that there. On to the tournament.